Today on What's Next.
What have been your biggest frustrations, problems, or advice that you could give him?
I kept saying to myself, you should really start listening to what you're telling everybody else. Do what you love.
Don't have little dreams. Go for the big stuff.
Hello and welcome back to What's Next, where we celebrate the opportunity of growing older and the power of change. You know that humans are built to evolve, to adapt, and to transform, and midlife transformation is now leading many to the greatest decades of their life. And if you want to put together a relay team, a mixed medley, if you will, 2 men and 2 women to compete in the Anything is Possible Olympics, this would be my team. The gold medal favorites going in. Leading off, Amy Sweezy, followed by George Diaz, Cecily Wilson, and of course, the anchor man himself, Bill Schaefer. So let's get it going, guys. Finish this sentence, if you will. You are never too old to ... Amy, you're first.
You are never too old to dream.
I would say you are never too old to try something new.
Oh, you guys took my 2 answers. Okay, you're never too old to laugh at yourself.
That's another great one. How about make a difference, have an impact in somebody else's life? I guess it's another way of saying it's never too late to start working on your own legacy.
I love it. And, I think one of the things we've learned is you're never too old to either repair a relationship or start a new relationship. For me, it's all about hanging out with people. And recently, we hung out with a couple of really cool ones on our weekly Twitch stream. We paired Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, frontman, leader of the Byrds, Roger McGuinn, with Grammy-nominated guitarist and lead vocalist for the heavy metal band Trivium, a guy by the name of Matt Heafy. Now, it's all part of our effort to bring generations together, and what better way to do that, we thought, than through shared passions, because what we learn, as different as we might seem, we are really not. Here's part of that discussion.
Roger, let me ask you this. If you could give him any advice at all about either longevity in the music business or how you find your thing and hang on to that thing.
Perseverance, that's it. I remember one time I was in touch with a guy at one of the labels, and I was out of a record deal at the point, and I said, like a record deal. He said, "Hey, Raj, some people, it's like jocks. They know when to hang it up, and I think it's your time." And Camilla said, my wife, that, well, even if we have to stand on the corner with an open guitar box, we're gonna keep playing. So it's perseverance.
Yeah, people sometimes I'll have like distant relatives that they don't get it. They're like, "So when are you gonna get a real job? When are you done with this whole music thing? Hey, you have kids now, so you're probably gonna stop touring."
Get a job.
I was like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm like, look at the legends that are still going. Like this is something you're supposed to do forever, and that's what I love. So I love that.
If you love it, why would you want to stop for any reason?
Exactly. Like I've found that more and more, as life goes on. I mean, 22 years in the band isn't a very long time in terms of comparison with the career you've had, but it's cool. Like I feel like now, towards where I'm at right now, 22 years in, our band feels more creative and more synergistic and more excited to do things than we ever have.
How cool is that? I think on the face of it, McGuinn and Heafy are kind of like oil and water, but we brought them together. And now they're talking about a collab, an intergenerational collaboration, folk rock and heavy metal. And, I, for one, can't wait to hear it.
I kind of expected that the whole hour that you did would be kind of about the music, but all the questions, like Matt talking about being a new dad and Roger talking about when you start to age and that record deal isn't there anymore.
I think that's really one of the most unique things about what we're all trying to do at Growing Bolder. And, we really do have this intergenerational vision. We're not about separating, the different demographic cohorts. We are about bringing them together. And streaming is a great way to do that, folks. It is a unique social experience. You can just hang out, you can listen, you can lurk if that's what you want to do, but you can also actually be part of the program. You really should follow us at twitch.tv/Growing Bolder. We'll look for you there.
I never thought I would be able to accomplish what I did.
I
I'm Amy Sweezy from Growing Boulder. There is something happening across the world that is changing aging. A rapidly increasing number of men and women from ages 50 to over 100 are participating in year-round sports, from swimming and track and field to pickleball and horseshoes. There is a huge growth of interest and participation in senior or master sports. Now, you may not be a master's athlete, but you know exercise is essential for longevity. Our partners at Florida Blue Medicare also understand this, and they're providing resources to their members to promote an active lifestyle. Florida Blue Medicare is more than just health insurance. They want to help you live a healthy and also better life by providing tools to add exercise to your daily routine. At growingboulder.com/Medicare, you'll learn about the Silver Sneakers Fitness Program, an exclusive benefit for Florida Blue Medicare Advantage plan members, which gives access to more than 17,000 fitness locations across the country. You will also see how Growing Boulder's CEO Mark Middleton was so inspired by the stories he was telling of Masters athletes, he returned to swimming after a 35-year hiatus. He found himself collecting medals, national championships, and before long, multiple world records. To download this free inspirational content and to learn more about how we're adding inspiration to Florida Blue Medicare Advantage plans, visit growingboulder.com/Medicare. You'll feel empowered by world record-breaking senior athletes, but you'll also be encouraged by ordinary people joining walking groups and those who are simply getting off the couch and moving more today than they were yesterday. Do your future self a favor and take a walk today. Join a walking group, visit the gym, get fit, have fun, and make friends. Visit growingboulder.com/Medicare to learn more.
You know, I have always been inspired by artists because, in a way, we are all artists and our lives are really just one big canvas. But it does take confidence. It takes a willingness to fail, to start throwing some paint around, both literally and figuratively. And Jameson, or Jamie Thomas, always had the heart of an artist, but it wasn't until she actually started listening to her own words and learning from her own example as a champion rower that she actually gained the confidence to then take the risk.
Jamie studied art and business at Skidmore College, and when she graduated, her heart was in her art, but it was the risky path.
I didn't have the security and the confidence that you need really to go out and attack the art world in New York.
So she traded her studio for an office and got busy making a living and raising a family. The years turned into decades, but the dream of becoming an accomplished fine artist never left. When she took a job at a major art museum, she began to listen to her own voice.
And I was helping all these local artists to show their work and giving them advice on how to get to the next level. And I thought, I'm telling them what I need to be doing. And I kept saying to myself, you should really start listening to what you're telling everybody else. Do what you love.
She also reflected on what she accomplished in rowing and what she learned about herself along the way.
I never should have gotten to where I got to. I never thought I would be able to accomplish what I did, but I did it. And so I'm taking all that skill base and knowledge and belief that I can do this, I can get through it, and I can become what I want to be.
In her mid-50s, she finally made the commitment to her art that she was unable to make in her early 20s.
It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do it, and I have that deep inside me because I learned from rowing that I can. To be able to go into something knowing that you're going to be successful at what you're going to do is such an amazing gift that you can't possibly have at 20. You have to fall a few times. You have to lose your footing.
Truth is, Jamie has always been a bit of a risk taker. She got her pilot's license at 16 and became an aerobatic pilot. She's also an adventurer who has climbed Mount Rainier. But committing to her art is maybe her biggest risk because it's also her greatest love. But where to begin? Where to focus her many creative talents?
Honing in on what was going to be first was really difficult So the first thing were these guys that I'm sitting next to.
And describe what these guys are.
These are my bloomers.
She loves combining text with sculpture, and while she prefers to let others discover the meaning of her paintings, she will say this.
I think maybe that's what I'm going for in my art, is saying, stop, look around you, see what more there is than what you think there is.
That is a message that we hear and share in many different ways all the time. It's about mindfulness. It's about paying attention. We are literally surrounded with opportunity if only we will take the time to see it, and then, equally important, find the courage to pursue it. So let's take a quick around the horn here, if you will, guys. Any passions that you have had, that you've had to put in the past that you're thinking about now?
Well, for me, coming from Cuba, a passion is wanting to learn about the history, the family, all the ties that ended up coming here to the United States. And I would like to document that journey.
That's awesome. Mine goes a little bit in a different direction, and that is I want to finish taking golf lessons. I started 20 years ago with 5 lessons. I took 2 of them, and then I got busy, and then it got hot, and then I had 3 kids, and you know, the list of excuses goes on.
Very cool. I'd like to see Amy out on the golf course. You know, I played piano and I stopped doing it like 25 years ago. I picked it back up recently, and man, it feels great to be as bad as I am. So indulge yourself.
Listen, dancing is what I love to do. I've always loved to dance, and when I was a child, my mother had me in ballet lessons, and as I got into my teenage years, I'm like, that's overrated. I don't want to do that anymore. But when I look at ballerinas and their legs are absolutely fabulous, mine are like, not so much.
You know, the other thing that I've thought a lot about it, and it's crazy because I can never remember a joke. I cannot tell a joke, but there's something about the idea of stand-up comedy that appeals to me. The challenge of trying to figure out how to stand up there and deliver something that people would laugh at. I'm sure I'll never do it because I wouldn't know where to begin, but it does intrigue me.
So I think your attitude and positivity and I can do it. I will do it. I must do it. And go for it.
You know, we love every member of the Growing Boulder tribe, but I'm going to share some inside information with you right now. Somewhere between 55 and 65% of everybody that follows us is a woman. So we've learned a lot about women and what their needs and their desires are. And I can tell you, women want to live active, social, engaged lives, which is why I'm always excited to talk to an active, socially engaged woman like Jeanette Bajalia, who also happens to be one of the nation's top financial planners. Women for a long time were pretty much ignored by the financial services industry, or at least not spoken to in the way that they wanted to be.
You're absolutely right, and that's why I'm in this career, because of the way I was treated as a woman in the financial services industry. But more importantly, I created a company that specializes in women because of the unique needs of women. When we hear the statistics about, like, we're hearing them thrown around, 80% of women die single. Most women are navigating their latter life stages solo. And so that the type of planning that you do for solo woman navigating life's journey, because women are living longer. We're living longer with more active lifestyle. So it requires us to fund them. You want to build plans that help you navigate latter life stages with health and vitality. And that takes the right type of financial planning to make sure you have the funds. Protected income is critical, and you can learn more about it on the protectedincome.org website, because it's essential for you to empower yourself with the right knowledge to obtain the right type of financial tools in your retirement plan. You have access to a lot of even documents and books that I've written and articles I've written. That's where I drive everyone to, and I highly recommend you make that a favorite. Protectedincome.org. That's trusted information.
I'm excited to introduce you to Dr. Loretta Ford. She is someone that we would call a rock star of aging here at Growing Boulder. She co-founded the first nurse practitioner program, and of course that makes her a trailblazer in the healthcare industry. At 101, she is living an active, engaged life filled with purpose. But how, you might ask? Well, here's her advice on living your best life.
You can do whatever you want to do. You know what Henry Ford said? If you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. So I think your attitude and positivity and I can do it, I will do it, I must do it, and go for it. Don't have little dreams. And it isn't always in money. For mine, it's helping others and, leading a good life and enjoying it. If you haven't got a sense of humor, I don't see how you could manage it all.
And she had such a great sense of humor. We had so much fun that day. Great advice from Dr. Ford. Now, at this stage of life, if you're 101 or even if you're 50 plus, I think that we often tend to think of being a mentor, that we are mentors. However, as lifespans continue to increase, I think it's important that we look for mentors no matter what age we are, even at this stage in our lives. So I'd like to open it up to the group now. We'll start with George. What about you? Do you have a mentor?
Well, all I have to do really is look at the inspirational stories that we share here on our platform. Ordinary people leading extraordinary lives. And there is such a smorgasbord of examples of people stepping up and doing things outside of their comfort zone and teaching us what it's all about.
Oh, great answer, George. So for me, I think that would be Miss Lucille O'Neill. Shaquille's mom. She gives me advice when I need some wisdom. I go to someone who's been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. So she's a great mother, she's a great advocate, she's an author, and she's just an all-around woman of faith, and I love that.
Cecily, it's interesting. I didn't know that Lucille O'Neill was still around. Many, many years ago, she put together a fundraiser. It was called Shaq's Mama Says Knock You Out. I got into a ring with huge boxing gloves and literally beat the crap out of Greg Warmuth, the lead anchor over there at Channel 9. I've got the video. I'll show it to you if you want to see it. We all know how time flies. Yes, the days might be long, but the years do go by in the blink of an eye. And recently we asked our Facebook group, what is your greatest source of happiness? Kathy Boyner said, playing music with my friends. George, what about you? Other, of course, than getting chips from the Growing Boulder bodega, which you are renowned for now.
Well, Mark, I'd like to say that my greatest source of happiness is every morning, Addie and Hooch, my two dogs. They are the reason I get up every day. That's because if I don't get up, they're going to try to scratch at me. They're going to try to jump on the bed. They're going to try to lick my face. It's like, hey, Dad, get up, feed us, walk us. It's time to go.
Well, along those lines, I will go with my children. Not my pets, but my children. We're a family of 5. I have 3 kids. And so, there's a lot of bickering that can happen, a lot of arguing, a lot of not getting along. So when my kids are happy and playing together and laughing together, that is such a true source of happiness for me.
Echo that, Amy, because yes, it's family. It's my sisters, my mom, my daughters, and now my new granddaughter. Whenever I see that little face, her little brown eyes, her little chubby cheeks, it just brings me so much joy and happiness. So I love that.
Those are awesome answers. I was thinking about still in my mind is getting over the pandemic. After losing a year to social distancing and isolating, I truly appreciate being able to be with my friends. That's a big thing now.
just coming to work is a great source of happiness for me, and I'm very grateful for that because I know not many people can say that. But, you know, over the years we have interviewed hundreds of 90 and 100-year-olds, and they are as different as they can be. But there is one piece of advice that they all offer, and that is that we should do more of what we love. And we will add that while you're doing it, appreciate the connection that you have to it, and be grateful for the opportunity that you have to do it. Make your greatest source of happiness even greater. It's an acquired skill, but an important one. So work on that, and we'll see you right back here next time.